Hey everybody, welcome back to the Royal Read. I am so glad you decided to stop by and see what I'm reading on. Listen, before we get started, y'all know how I do this thing. I have to do all the shout outs because these people who decide to donate to the channel is so important. And I am so thankful for them seeing something in the channel and wanting to support it. So, of course, I am going to bring them out first. And first up is my man, Kevon Slims. Kevon has been such an unwavering support for so long, and I am so appreciative of him. He is the funniest, he is the kindest, he is the sweetest guy on these internet streets, and I thank him so much. And I'm so happy he is a part of this community. So thank you, Kevin. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here. And Tiger Mommy came through. Tiger Mommy is just everything. And she knows she's everything. And she is everything to this community. She is always coming through. She is always supporting. She is always in the comments. You could not ask for more. She is the best. She is the best of the best of the best. And I am so grateful and so thankful for her. Being a part of this community, she makes it so much better. And I love it. So thank you, Tiger Mommy. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here. And Lorna McKenzie came through. Yes, she did. Lorna is unwavering in her support for the read as well. She is always coming through. Now, she's not always in the comments, but she is always supporting. And Lorna is the best. She is so kind and so sweet and so just insightful. She is. She's so wise. So I am so thankful for Lorna because she is a part of this community. And like all the rest, she makes it what it is. She makes it better. So thank you, Lorna. Thank you for the super thanks. But most of all, thank you for being here. All right, y'all, I'm going to play this and we'll talk on the other side. Y'all, I want to give another quick shout out to my man Kevon Slims, to Tiger Mommy, who is everything, and to Lorna McKenzie, who is the sweetest person on these internet streets. So thank y'all so very much. Thank you for being a part of this community. Thank you for absolutely riding with the read like you do. I appreciate it so very much. So thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here. All right, y'all. Y'all know what time it is, and y'all know what I do when I am putting the read together. I hit these internet streets, and that's what I've been doing. Now, listen, I don't have a lot to talk about, and this is not going to be very long because it's been a busy day. Y'all know how Sundays are with me. I have family, friends. I am all over the place, but y'all are always a priority. So I always try to come in here in my office and talk to y'all. I do. So listen, we're going to talk about two main things. Maybe, well, I said two main things. It's a little more than that, but y'all just hang in there with me. But one of the things that we're going to talk about is Willie. Willie is coming out saying that he has found Jesus, y'all. Jesus is a priority for him. All I can say is, whew, okay, we're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about one of the flying monkeys that has flown over there to Kensington Palace and going to work for Charles and his horse. We're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about how silly season continues on. And what I mean about silly season is all of these hit pieces, these smears that they are targeting Megan with, and just how ridiculous they are and how easily they're debunked. It is embarrassing at this point. If you have two brain cells, you can see exactly what's going on here. And I'm telling you, squatties are out here doing God's work. They are. They're in these comments. I'm telling you, some of them, it's all squatties in the comments. That's it. Squatties are out here in full force doing what needs to be done. And that's God's work. And telling the truth and pulling the receipts. Yes, that is what squatties are doing. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about three sound bites that I have that I'm going to play. And I found them fascinating and very, very interesting. So we're going to get into that as well. So let's get started. Get locked in. Get you some coffee if it's in the morning time, some tea. If it's in the evening time, get you some wine, get you some popcorn, lock in. Because y'all know I'm not going to keep you long, but you know you will be entertained. All right, y'all, we're going to start with this right here. And I wanted to start with this because people are asking this question. What is going on? Why all of a sudden it is a full-on attack on Megan? It makes no sense to people who don't know what the agenda is. It makes perfect sense to squatties. Squatties have seen this time and time and time again. When something is going on with that family, when they are feeling threatened, or when they absolutely feel like they have to pump themselves up, they have to be propped up, or if they are trying to hide something. Those three scenarios are usually the reason why they put their foot on the gas when it comes to their smear campaign against Meghan and Harry. They have kind of laid off Harry a little bit. It is always Meghan. They are always trying to use her as a scapegoat, as someone to prop them up, as someone that they feel threatened by. Yeah, that's all that's going on here. And this particular squatty said, what exactly is going on across the pond? Because the level of coordinated negativity and relentless hit pieces is starting to look very suspicious. What has Prince William done that we're not being told? Has more Prince Andrew's sins come to light again? No, those three scenarios I just said. They're either feeling threatened, they're either needing to be propped up, or they're needing to hide something. Those three things are the reason why they go in hard on Meghan. And here we go. The Mirror. Netflix boss quietly unfollows Megan amidst claims of difficult relationship. And look at this. Page 6. Netflix boss Ted Sarandos has unfollowed Meghan Markle and her brand as ever on Instagram after the streaming giant cut with the royal renegades. Called Megan a renegade. They also got this whole scenario going around saying that when Megan took full charge of her brand as ever, that she left Netflix with $10 million worth of jam. Yes, they were in the hole $10 million. You know that this is nonsense. These people, it is just more and more nonsense that they continue to pull out of their arse over there on Fleet Street. And from that old raggedy mouth Tom Bauer. Yes, instead of him being somewhere brushing his teeth or seeing a dentist to try to get all that gingivitis out of his mouth, he is busily lying on Harry and Meghan. It makes no sense to me. But yes, I mean, more and more hit pieces are coming out each and every day. And like I said, it's the three scenarios. It has to be those three things. That family is so pathetic. And when I say pathetic, I mean on another level. You have to use a woman who doesn't even live on the same continent that you do. Haven't spoke your name in 4 years, haven't even acknowledged your existence, but yet and still here you are. I cannot with them. I can't. And this particular squatty wrote about that page 6 article where it said that Megan was unfollowed by Ted Sarandos. This squatty said, so page 6 has updated their article. Buried deep in the article, they now admit that Ted Sarandos never followed Megan or as ever in the first place, which makes sense when you consider how many people in Hollywood he works with and the fact that he follows less than 500 people. Yes, they had to come back and admit that and put it in the article because they didn't want Netflix and Ted Sarandos and Meghan and Harry to get on that arse. Yes, that's the reason why they came back and put that in there because they did not want to get sued. Yes, but yet and still, they kept the headline because it's all about the headline for them because they know real stupid people will not dig into the article. They just go with the headline. That's it. They know the ugly old hags, the toadies, the derangers, the haters. They all want to be gaslit, and page 6 is out here happily gaslighting these fools. I'm just saying. And squatties were all up in these comments. This squatty said, lies. He never followed her. Why don't you report on at the royal family heir Willie taking millions from J.E. and a known sultan lover of child torture and friend of J.E.? Exactly. Why are you not saying anything about that? You let that come up and fade away. Just like Megan said, you'll see stories pop up and then all of a sudden they will go away because they always wanted to try to use Megan as a scapegoat. They are doing the very same thing that they did when Megan used to live over there across the pond. This is the same playbook. Yes, stories pop up and then all of a sudden it is a made up bogus lie or smear about Megan. And the story that had popped up, maybe about Willie or Kitty or Charles or his horse, it just faded away because the smear on Megan took its place on these rags front pages. I mean, the same old playbook, different day, same old bullshit out of these people. And this squatty said never followed her to begin with. Stay bothered. Yes, stay bothered. I don't think they're bothered. They are absolutely trying to do one of those three things. They're trying to prop that family up, they're trying to cover up something, or they are feeling threatened. I would say all three. What do y'all think? And this squatty said Netflix CEO never followed Meghan. His wife follows her. Why do British media lie shamelessly? Because they are shameless. That's why. They have no shame. These people have an agenda and they feel it's slipping away from them. They know that they have failed, but they keep on keeping on because they have nothing else. They don't have a plan B. They really thought that they had the ability to make someone or break them. And Harry and Meghan has taught them, no, you don't. You don't. You cannot break me because you did not make me. Meghan was made when she got there. How can you break someone who's already made? So that is the reason why they're shameless. And the squatty goes on and says, embarrassing, a whole media establishment has no shame or ethic obligations, lying to the public. No wonder the British public is misinformed. Meanwhile, Meg is living her best life. Exactly. I saw this article today talking about 7 ways that Megan has flopped this year. I think it was this year. I mean, what? Did I miss something? I mean, it is ridiculous what these people are out here saying. Like this squatty said, it is shameless. It's embarrassing. I mean, they don't have any ethics at all. They are willing to say anything, do anything, just absolutely embarrass themselves in order to try to take this woman down. They have proven that time and time again. And every time they lose. Every time they lose. And I just love that for them because they are so desperate. You can see the increasing desperation each and every day with each and every article. I mean, it is getting so ridiculous and fanciful what these people are choosing to write about Megan, saying she's a flop. What a joke. All right, y'all, I'm going to play y'all this soundbite, and it is from the Scums, Matt Wilkerson. Yes, the big head one. And he is talking about Harry and Willie and how Harry is somehow obligated to be by Willie's side. I mean, these people are so favorite minded. I cannot believe that they actually think this, but they are also people who believe a man who is born to a certain woman or within a certain family is supposed to rule over them, and they're supposed to show them deference, and somehow they're better than them, innately better because of the birth canal that they came out of. Yes, these people believe that. So why wouldn't they believe this moronic idea that Harry is not entitled to his own life? I cannot, but I'm going to put this up and we're going to play the soundbite and we'll talk on the other side.
There is one major thing that can fix the rift between Harry and William. Whether it happens, I don't know whether we'll ever see it, but Harry has to apologise to William and William has to accept. And it's the second part of that that is the most important. I don't know if Harry is a big enough man to actually apologise to his brother and explain everything that he's done wrong and the reasons for it, but it's whether William would actually accept that, because Harry really has dumped on him for so many years. And it's only now, really, that you see how important that is, how terrible it was that Harry has abandoned his brother, because William would need him. He would need Harry when his wife had cancer. And the royal family is going through a crisis, another crisis. It lurches from crisis to crisis. William's having to make big decisions, and he would need, he wants, he should have his brother, the one who was there standing beside him when they were children, when they were at the funeral for their mother. He would need his brother beside him. And I don't think William will be able to forgive Harry for abandoning him those years ago, for dumping on him and his family. And when he needs him in his hour of need, where is his brother? So he needs to apologise, and William needs to accept it.
Now, where to start on this bullshit? Can you believe that this man had the nerve to stand up there and say that Harry needs to apologize to Willie? Willie, who has done nothing but plant stories and come after his wife time and time again. Willie, who has done nothing but try to sabotage all of his charities. Willie, who has done nothing but treat Harry with disdain his whole life. When Willie was in school with Harry, he didn't even want Harry to speak to him and pretend like they wasn't even related. This Willie, who has always needed his brother, get out of here. This is fantasy. This is the made up story that they made up long ago, pretending like Harry and Willie was close. Harry has never been close to Willie because he never was allowed to be close to Willie because of Willie. Willie thought Harry was something to be amused by, something for him to use, something for him to absolutely take the credit for everything and anything that he has ever done. Willie has never been a good brother to Harry. And for this big head man to stand there and say that Harry abandoned Willie and Harry dumped on Willie. How did Harry dump on Willie? That is the question that I want to ask. Harry just said what needed to be said for them to leave his wife alone. Harry only told the truth. If Willie hadn't acted and behaved in that manner, Harry would not have had anything to say. If you want someone to speak well of you, treat them well. Willie wants to treat people like crap and still have them speak well of him. Where is that coming from? Except in the bowels of that old institution who really believes that just because you come out of a certain birth canal, you get to treat people like shice and they're supposed to take it. You're supposed to serve up the shit sandwiches and they're supposed to eat them. This is ridiculous. Harry refused that. And he also has a right to his own life and his own family. His life is not to serve Willie. And that's the problem with that bald head demon, future King Dumazarot. That is what's wrong with him because he has been taught somehow that people are to be used. Everybody around him, including his family, including his brother, is to be used to his advantage. And Harry had the audacity to say that he is going to have his own life and he is going to protect his family. And how is that dumping on Willie? Please enlighten me. And the last thing I want to say about this is what in the HE double hockey sticks does Harry have to apologize to Willie for? Harry never briefed on him. Harry has not done anything to hurt him. Willie has done all he can do to try to destroy his brother and his brother's wife. So miss me with this bullshit. Miss me completely. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this old big head Matt Wilkerson getting on here saying this nonsense. I cannot with these people. It's as if they look at Harry as not being a human being, some kind of tool for Willie to use in order to prop himself up. It is ridiculous. And I'm going to put this up. This is a repost, and the original post says Prince Andrew's case is ramping up, another crisis, and they are begging for the default scapegoat is getting out of control. Calls for Harry to leave his family and tend to Prince William are louder. Plus, Harry has nothing to apologize for. He told his truth. No, he didn't tell his truth. He told the truth. We all know exactly what Harry said was the truth. They have taken it for the truth because they know Harry has no reason to lie. Harry came on, said it with his full chest. So it is the truth. That's the only thing I disagree with is the wording right there. But the other part of this whole post, yes, absolutely. They are ramping it up. They want Harry back for Willie. I mean, these people are crazy. And the mental gymnastics that they do in order to justify how Harry should come back, that SHIT should be studied. I'm just saying. And this other squatty that reposted this said, these people are really sick. They think Harry should abandon his family to help William be king. If he's too weak to be king, then let Harry be king until George becomes of age. No, we don't want Harry and Meghan a part of that nonsense over there. Harry and Meghan are fine in Montecito. That whole institution is corrupt. I mean, rotten to the core. That whole institution do nothing but kill people. Who in the world would want your faves to go back and live within the walls of that institution? Can you imagine being at the mercy of these flying monkeys? Megan, those little babies No way. No way would I ever even fantasize about some nonsense like that. I'm just saying. And this squatty reposted that same post from that other squatty and said, "This is one of the most unhinged yet. What does William, nearly 50, with a wife, kids, and 60 plus staff catering to his every whim, need Harry for? Why should Harry apologize for being bullied and physically assaulted, then abandon his own family to be Willie's slave and scapegoat?" Exactly. Exactly. They want to make William somehow the victim in all of this, that he has been wronged somehow by Harry. Get out of here. If anyone is a victim in this whole situation, it's Harry and Meghan. They have been treated atrociously. They have been lied on, they have been smeared and ran out of Harry's home country. All because Harry had the audacity to marry a woman better than the one he married. He has done everything, everything to tear Harry and Meghan apart and tear them down. And he's the victim. Harry owes Willie nothing. He owes him nada. He owes him zilch. I cannot believe these people. And the audacity of Big Head Matt Wilkerson saying that Harry should sacrifice everything to be by Willie's side. The same Willie who has done nothing but treat Harry like shiest all of his life. And if you read Spare, you know that Big Head Matt Wilkerson is full of it. Harry said him and Willie has never been close. They weren't even really raised together. They have always lived separate lives. So this fantasy, this created story that somehow Harry and Willie was so close in their childhood and through life up until Megan is nothing but a fanciful farce. It's not true. It's made up. And here he is trying to peddle this nonsense to try to create a narrative to make Harry out as the bad guy. Nobody is buying it. It is absolutely nonsense. And that dog will never hunt again. And this squatter reposted that same post and said, "This is the most demented thing I have heard in a long while. Williams needs, wants, should have. Ha 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 ha." And Harry has to apologize so that William can have what she wants, what he should have, are royalists of sound mind. Exactly. I mean, it's as if they can't hear themselves when they're saying all of this crazy shit. Because, I mean, it is crazy to me that they think that just because this man has a higher title than Harry, that Harry should be the one to apologize, even though Harry was the one who was done wrong. It is the craziest thing. I mean, I know that I am an American, relatively new to the whole monarchy and the whole mindset of royalists, but this is crazy. This is crazy to think like this. And you wonder why this family is as crazy as it is. Could it be that the people who are in their orbit is equally or more crazier than they are? Could that be it? I think so. And speaking of crazy, here is another flying monkey that is totally out of their head, and that is Roy Nicka. And she wrote a so called exclusive talking about how Willie has found Jesus. Yes, he supposedly is a quiet Christian, whatever that is. But I am going to play this soundbite and we'll talk about it on the other side.
Is Prince William really religious? Prince William's faith has long been questioned. He's not a devout Christian, nor a regular churchgoer, like King Charles and the late Queen Elizabeth II. Now, ahead of the Archbishop of Canterbury's enthronement, William has decided to draw a line in the sand on the issue of his personal faith. He's addressed questions about his belief, confirming his quiet faith and his wish to establish a new, strong and meaningful bond with the church and its leadership. William's desire to forge a relationship with Dame Sarah Mullally, the first female Archbishop of Canterbury, and an Aston Villa fan like the Prince, is a significant development. She has replaced Justin Welby, who resigned in 2024. Welby and his team repeatedly tried and failed to establish a bond with William. Several sources with knowledge of the situation have told me that Welby's previous closeness to Harry and Meghan played a part. So what does this say about how William will reign as king? An aide to William told the Sunday Times that the Prince's commitment to the Church of England is not always understood because it can be quieter than people expect, but also that those who know him well recognise that his connection to the church and sense of duty that comes with it runs deep, and that William wants to ensure the Church of England, of which he will one day be head, continues to remain relevant and connected to the people that it serves. William's already indicated that when he reigns, change is on his agenda, and he wants to ensure the monarchy is fit for purpose in the modern era. A source close to William said, although he might not be at church every week, he believes in it and he wants to support it. At the same time, he's now signalling that his relationship with Christianity will evolve from previous monarchs whose strong faith underpinned their reigns.
That right there was nothing but a press release from Kensington Palace. She read it word for word the way they gave it to her. I mean, Roy Nica is nothing but a shield. She is nothing but a hack. She is nothing but a bootlegger for Kensington Palace. And she proves that each and every time. I would not be surprised if she didn't take a role within the royal household once Willie ascends to the throne. I hope if she does, she'll be able to get a better haircut. I don't understand her hair. I know this is a little off subject, but what's up with Roy Nica's hair? It looks like hay on top of her head. It's straight and it looks like it's so dry and so fried. I mean, it's fried harder than Popeye's chicken. But I digress. When I first saw this and heard this video, I cackled. What is quiet faith? I mean, Willie's faith is so quiet that he can't even hear it. Why in the world he think we could? I'm just saying, I don't believe none of this. This is just their way of preparing people when Willie ascends to the throne that he won't be going to church. He is so performative. He knows that everyone knows that he is not a religious person, which is his business. Don't get me wrong. But don't be out here faking it. Don't be out here doing this pantomime and pretending like you actually care about something that you don't. That's all I'm saying. This is why I have nothing but smoke when it comes to William. Because did you hear that line in there where Roy Nica said that Harry and Meghan was close to Justin Warby? How is that true? But we all know Justin Warby got in trouble, had to resign because he was cloaking for pedos within the church. So, because of that, they want to try to tie Harry and Meghan to him. Harry and Meghan was no more close to him than any of the other family members was close to him as Archbishop, but they want to continue to try to tie Harry and Meghan to the negative when they actively, William actively cloak for a pedo, Andrew, but they want to try to tie Harry and Meghan to something nefarious every time. They never miss the opportunity to try to do so. That is the reason why Harry and Meghan needs to have nothing to do with them, because every time they are presented with an opportunity to take the high road, they always choose the low one. This is why Harry and Meghan can never trust Willie. Willie will always be trying to somehow sabotage them in some kind of way and trying to connect them with Justin Warby. Like he and Kitty and all the rest of them didn't have the same kind of relationship. I cannot. This is a low blow, and it's very, very telling that they chose to take it. And I want to put this up, and I'm going to play this soundbite because this is the Queen's pastor, and he had something to say on this subject of Willie's quiet faith. So I'm putting this up. We're going to play the clip, and we'll talk on the other side.
Insulted. The thing is, Christianity and one's religious faith, it's a matter of intense integrity, really. People die for it in places. They give their lives for it. The standards are very high. You forgive your enemies. You love your enemies. You're engaged in a crusade against evil. It's a big thing. And the problem is that William's been he hasn't gone on record, but Robert Hartman, who is the best biographer, has described William in the past as not particularly religious and beset by doubts about whether he should head up a church he doesn't attend much. So, I mean, he's a really sweet man with sort of vacant ideas about God. And the difficulty with this is it feels strategic, it feels political, and the trouble is I understand why they're doing that. Of course I do. But if you're a passionate Christian, frankly, it's insulting.
Did y'all hear that? Yes, this is straight from the former chaplain of the late Queen. Yes, he is calling Willie out on his bullshites. This is what it says. Frankly, it's insulting. Former chaplain to the late Queen, Gavin Sheenan, said he found Prince William's confirmation of quiet faith as strategic and political. Where is the lie? He saw straight through him, didn't he? I love it, y'all. I love it. And I'm going to put this up because Graham Smith posted that article from Roy Nicka and said, it's so telling how royal correspondents simply repeat the message that the palace wants repeated. A significant moment in which William reveals his faith. How about William making claims which needs to be scrutinized? Exactly. I agree with Graham Smith. They repeat whatever the palace wants them to repeat. I mean, these are not journalists. They are stenographers. They are absolute parrots. They just parrot back whatever that family tells them to say, and it is disgusting. And I agree with him 1000%. And I'm going to put this up. And this squatty says, so William Parker Bowles admitting he isn't into church going, has quiet faith, laugh out loud, but he believes in his own way, laugh out loud, because he has to say something, and he's going to be the head of the Church of England. You do understand what is happening in the UK right now and in the coming years. Christianity dying there for sure. Well, it's dying here in America as well. And it's because of the corruption in the church, the disingenuous behavior, and people using the name of the Lord to further a very evil agenda. And so people are very, very turned off by Christianity, not because of the religion, but the people who have taken over the religion, and people are turning against it. That's my opinion. Y'all tell me what y'all think, but this is what I believe. People have taken the Lord's name in vain and has used it for a evil agenda. And this squatty said, pretty sure William will be the end of the monarchy because saying this out loud is absolutely crazy when your role will be the supreme governor of the Church of England, holding the title of defender of the faith. What y'all think about that? He definitely is not saying he's going to do that. But we all know that this religion, the Church of England, all stem from King Henry VIII wanting to get his marriage annulled from Catherine of Aragon. Yes, he wanted to annul the marriage. He wanted the Pope, I think the Pope's name is Pope Clement, and he refused to annul the marriage. So he split from the Roman Catholic Church, created the Church of England, and proceeded to marry Anne Boleyn so he could try to have a male heir. That's what it was all about. So the Church of England was started on some bullshit. Just like everything is pretty much started or about bullshit when it comes to that family. I'm just saying. And I'm going to put this up because this is a repost, and the original post is about Rihanna Mills. Yes, Rihanna Mills, the same one who sit down in South Africa with Willie. Willie crossed his legs and told her that Kate did not have cancer, she had precancerous cells. And after this revelation, it was no corrections made, not by Rihanna Mills and not by Sky News. Y'all remember that? So now this same Rihanna Mills is going to take a job with Charles and Kitty. I kid you not. This post says, is this a joke? The people who literally write lies about the king's daughter in law and son now rewarded with jobs in the palace. Queen's new communication secretary, she will report to Tobalin Andres, director of communications. She is getting a new job. I wonder why. And she's going to be the new communication secretary for the horse. And we all know that Rihanna knows what was said in that interview and never recanted it. That Kitty didn't have cancer, she had precancerous cells, and now she's working for the horse. Now, what y'all think about that? Very interesting, right? I think so too. And the squatty who reposted this said the UK monarchy does this time and time again. Calling them a nest of vipers is an insult to all reptiles, where it's a lie. We know exactly what is going on here with the flying monkeys and that family over there and their relationship with each other. Yeah, and this is just evidence that what we have said and been saying forever is absolutely true. And I want to put this up. And this lady is talking about the incestual relationship that the flying monkeys have with the palace and how it has affected how they report on that family. This particular squatty said, who is this queen? Imagine living in a time period when the public is impressed by the media merely speaking facts. It's only by the grace of the universe the smear campaign against Meghan didn't work. There is no comparison in history. Exactly. What they have done to Meghan, only comparison I can think of is what they did to Diana, and she did not survive it. I would say Meghan is the only one who have survived the onslaught of the smear campaign coming from that family, coming from that institution. I'm just saying, I'm going to play this Queen's soundbite and we'll talk on the other side. I'm going to put the picture up and we'll talk on the other side.
I would say that this is also a failure of the UK media, and I really do think that, because I can assure you, I can't remember how long I've been doing this story for, but it's a long time now, like a decade and a half, and nobody really bothered very much with it at all. It was not the stories the multiples of stories about Meghan compared to multiples of stories about this. That's true. After he had been pictured with Epstein, after all of these things, which was ages and ages ago, and they all knew off the sort of record and what people said about him, and yet the obsession was still with Meghan. And I remember doing this in 2019 and just thinking, this is absolutely bizarre. They're obsessed with the fact that Meghan and Harry have gone on a private jet to Ibiza. Look the other way. Why is the Queen just driven to Balmoral? For this incredibly presentational event, or was to church at Balmoral with him sitting next to her in the car, but they wouldn't say anything. The media is part of the establishment, and the establishment has now decided that cutting him loose is a more protective stance than doing what they did before, which was not properly interrogating it all. And the media is part of that to some extent. Not all. I can't characterize the whole media as one thing. No, I wouldn't begin to. But I will say that as someone who wrote about this for a very long time, there was a long, long period when they were far more interested in covering Meghan than looking into any of this stuff, even though large aspects of it were in the public domain. Love it.
And where is the lie? Where is it? This woman came out with the truth. She said it out loud. She said it where everybody could hear it. And she called them out, the flying monkeys, for what they are. They had no interest in finding out the truth when it came to Prince Andrew. They all knew, including the flying monkeys knew about what was going on with Andrew. Everybody got together to protect him. And they used Meghan as a way to protect him. They used the smearing of Meghan, the lying on Meghan, the obsessive reporting on Meghan, focusing and throwing Meghan under the bus as a way to protect Andrew. They are all guilty. They are all a part of this, and nobody will ever allow them to forget that. And it's more to come out, and it's going to be such a huge disaster for that family. And I am going to sit back, eat my popcorn, and drink my wine and enjoy every single second of it. And this squatty said, troubling whispers, shivers down my spine. If only the press and the royal correspondent applied the level of obsessive scrutiny they applied for Harry and Meghan to Andrew and the remaining royals, they could have potentially uncovered evidence of it. Yes, they could have. I said this many, many times. The story of the century is right there, but they refuse to cover it. They refuse to say anything about it because at the end of the day, they're not journalists. They're not. We just saw Roy Nicka sit there in front of everybody, God and everybody, and repeat line for line what was coming out of Kensington Palace. She wants to try to present it as her own words, but we all know nothing sounds like anything a journalist would say about someone that they're supposed to cover. No kind of objectivity when it comes to anything that's coming out of one of those palaces over there, especially Kensington Palace. Roy Nicka should absolutely not be a journalist at any news organization on this planet. She's a disgrace. I'm just saying. I agree with this lady in this soundbite when she said the news media is equally as guilty as people who covered up for JE, and that the news media knew what was going on and they used Meghan as a scapegoat. Just like the news media knows what's going on with Willie. And they also know what's going on with Kitty. Kitty is walking around with a new scar upside her head now, and nobody has said anything. It's clearly something has gone on, but the news media, they don't want to say anything about it, but they absolutely hint about what a violent temper Willie has. Now they'll hint at it, but they will not write the story. And I'll tell you another story they won't write. And that's what happened on December the 28th, 2024. They won't touch that with a 10-foot pole. We all know something went on, but we just don't know what. And they are not talking. The flying monkeys, they know, just like they knew who the royal racist was. They knew that way before it leaked out, way before Piers Morgan dropped the dime on Kitty and Charles. Yes, they know a lot, but they keep their mouths shut. Let's not forget that dead girl that was found on Crown property, on the Queen's property, and she was Russian. And we all know because of the JE files that these are the kind of young women that they preyed upon. I said all that to say this, that the lady in the soundbite, she was right. The news media is equally or more as guilty as anyone involved in this story about Prince Andrew being a pedo and his involvement with JE. The Flying Monkeys and everyone on Fleet Street are just as guilty because they chose not to do their jobs. And the squatty that reposted this said, Harry told y'all. He did. Every opportunity Harry got, he told everyone that media worked hand in hand with the palace. He did. And here it is, right there for everyone to see. And now they're starting to admit to it. Yes, Rihanna Mills taking a job with Camilla. And people are just saying it openly on the radio, on podcasts now. Everyone can see that Harry was right. He was right. I'm going to put this up. And this is something I covered in my last podcast about the Home Office, saying that they want to block Harry and Meghan receiving security because they did not want the backlash from the public. Yes, now I don't believe this. I believe this is straight out of Kensington Palace. Now, if the Home Office feels that way, Kensington Palace leaked it. But I don't believe they feel that way. I believe this is Willie and his folks leaking this to the rags so they can stir up vitriol and hate towards the Sussexes, so they can have discussions on Jeremy Vine and all these other panel shows, so they can whip up hatred to have justification to deny Harry and Meghan their security. I said in my last podcast, this leaked for a reason because these people can keep a secret when they want to. You kept a whole secret of a pedo in your midst, bringing women of the night in and out of Effingham Palace, but you can't keep the Home Office from leaking this about Harry's security. Stop it. Stop it right now. But this is what they want. They want to try to whip up some hatred to justify not giving Harry and Meghan this security. And like I said, I believe it's coming straight from Willie. This was in the fail. It says Home Office tries to block new security for Prince Harry and Meghan because they fear taxpayers' reaction to footing the bill. Well, they don't have any reaction to footing the bill for a pedo. None whatsoever. And you don't see anybody leaking about it either. But all of a sudden, they want to see if the taxpayers would have a problem with paying for Harry and Meghan's security. Security that Harry said that he was more than willing to pay for, and they refused it. So, how in the world do they expect Harry and Meghan to have security if they don't pay for it? Because they refuse to allow Harry to pay for it. It makes no sense. And I don't think it even supposed to make any sense. These people are crazy. The squatty that posted this said, in light of the rota carrying this message from the royal family to the public, inspiring hate and vitriol to the Sussexes, particularly Meghan, when Harry is willing to pay for security himself and wants to safely bring his family to the UK. The Invictus Games should be canceled. Now, I don't know if I would go that far to say that Invictus should be canceled because of all the competitors that are looking forward to this. But boy, it is going to be a bumpy ride, isn't it? If I was Harry, I don't even really know the answer to this whole situation because one part of me, I have one mind to say he should do it all Zoom. He should not show up, him nor Megan. And then the other mind is I think about the competitors and how they look forward to Harry and Megan being there. And it's not about what is going on with that family. It's about them. This is about the competitors, the veterans. So yeah, it's a hard call. Y'all tell me what y'all think. I am of two minds at this point. But yeah, this is what's happening here. They're trying to whip up hate towards Harry and Meghan so they can justify what they really want to do, and that is to deny them security. And I'm going to put this up because this is a picture of Andrew caught with a long distance lens, him out with his security walking his dog. Now, I could care less about a pedo walking his dogs, but I do care about them whipping up all this vitriol and hate towards the Sussexes because they don't want them to have security. And this pedo that they have cloaked for, protected, and circled the wagons around still has security. Now, I'm not saying he doesn't need security. I am not going to judge that. We all know what the deal is on that one. But I do say this: Harry and Meghan, they want to treat them like they had done something to someone. This man is accused of so many heinous crimes, but yet and still he has security and nothing is said. But Harry and Meghan, who has done nothing, you want to whip up hate against them so they can be denied security. It makes no sense. This is what he said. His Royal Highness Andrew still has security, but yet the veteran doesn't. Shaking my D head. Exactly. Exactly. And I saw a deranger come up under this and said, y'all are still calling him by his name, by his title. And I wrote back and said, we're calling him that because that's who he is. No titles have been stripped. It is just semantics. I mean, they are so dumb. I mean, dumb, dumb, dumb. But I digress on that point. Yeah, Andrew still has security, but somehow Harry and Meghan should be denied. Stop it. And of course, I always end on a positive note, and I'm going to put it up. Look at this beautiful picture of our Duchess. And Harry will have all the fun then. Posted this and said, she moved on. They can't shut up. Now, that right there is everything in a nutshell, isn't it? I love it. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all a little later. Bye.